Upon the first day of the week let every one of you lay by him in store, as God hath prospered him, that there be no gatherings when I come. Some say that this verse proves that the believers were gathering specifically on Sunday for worship, as they were commanded to collect offerings on this day. However, Paul would not suggest gathering money or goods on the Sabbath. One might think that if they were still meeting on the Sabbath, that would be an obvious choice for a collection day rather than Sunday. However, had he told the Corinthians to gather an offering for collection, it would not have been on the Sabbath, as handling of money and carrying of goods was contrary to Jewish custom. And we know from Scripture that even after Paul became a believer, he still observed the law and the customs of the Jews. Paul did not write this in his letter to establish a custom throughout the churches. This was written to the Corinthians and Galatians for a specific need that had arisen in Jerusalem, quote, that there be no gatherings when I come. The context tells us that this is a temporary collection for the saints in Jerusalem that will be gathered at one time. He was telling them ahead of time that he was sending people to gather their love offering so that they would be prepared, and funds would not need to be raised when they arrived. However, there is no mention of a public gathering on this day or any indication of a worship service. The verse says, lay by him in store, not gather in one place. Each person was to simply set something aside on the first day of the week as God prospered him. So let's look at the argument again. There's no mention of a customary weekly gathering taking place on the first day. However, if there had been, it still would not prove that the disciples were not keeping the Sabbath, since that would not have been a good time to gather money and food supplies. In this passage, Paul is requesting that special consideration be made for the believers in Jerusalem. He proceeds to lay out a practical way to prepare for the collection of their gift by setting aside a portion of their income every week.